What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Yakuza Fan Podcast, episode number 27 for March 8th, 2017. I'm Deacon, and I'm here with my co-host Cal.
Why?
As we are every week.
Every week.
Every week, and I have to introduce us. What if this is someone's first episode?
Why would they be listening to this episode first?
Why would they be listening to this episode at all, is my question.
Yeah, exactly. I have a lot of questions for you if this is your first episode. And also, be prepared that this isn't indicative of the rest of the series. Please go back to listen to real Yakuza news when there was really news happening.
Yeah. So, as you can tell, we're still in the middle of the Yakuza drought.
Yes.
Right now, there isn't really anything happening. All the contests are wrapped up for Yakuza 6. There was a Sega Raw. Nagoshi kind of looked over the photos that were submitted for the Yakuza 6 contest.
He was very surprised
shocked.
Of them were possible at all, just as we were last week.
Yeah, I can't believe that some of those are possible still. But yeah, so Nagoshi agrees. How did you do that?
We want to know. If you're listening, please tell us.
Yeah.
That was literally the only thing that happened.
Yeah, nothing else has happened. The search continues for the Ryuga Gotoku 6 J-drama. Again,
Yes.
If anyone out there knows how to get access to that, please let me know right away.
Is it available to purchase?
It is. It's actually out on DVD at this point, I think.
Okay, so if you want to gift us that, that's also a thing you can do.
Yeah. You know what? That is a good idea. Somebody gift me the Ryuga Gotoku.
Is it on your wish list on Amazon?
It's not, but you know what? I don't even need that. I just need someone to rip it and send it. I mean, just find me some way to watch it. I don't care how. If you know
subbed is better though.
Yes, if you're not even, you know what? I would prefer subbed, but even if it's not subbed, even if it's like Chinese machine subbed, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Camera,
go for it.
Yeah, exactly. So if anyone has the hookup, let me know. Email me.
I don't think they have the hookup. I think they would have emailed you by now.
I don't know. So if you guys know where to get that J-drama, just let me know in the comments or send me a message or tweet me or just get a hold of me.
Or send us the DVD.
No. So, again, that is basically it for Yakuza news, which is a bit of a shame because I'm ready. I know it's only been a few months.
Yes.
Like this, Yakuza 6 came out in December 8th.
Right.
So it's really only been like 3 months since Yakuza 6 launched.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so ready for more news about the next game.
Yeah, well, Kiwami's coming out in the summer, but I guess maybe they're still like riding the Yakuza 0 hype train, I guess. It's still pretty popular. It's still in the...
Sega in the West, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you mean in Japan you're ready for them to announce?
Yeah, I am ready for anyone to show me anything new about Yakuza.
Oh, I hope it's going to be on the Switch.
I don't know how I'd feel about it being on the Switch.
You got a battle dungeon, you're playing it on the TV, you're like, I gotta go. Boop! Off it comes, and there you go.
I don't
grinding everywhere.
I don't want to be playing battle dungeons. I know a lot of people like them, and don't get me wrong, they are way better than the other stuff.
How about this scenario? I have all of this real estate to manage.
Yes.
Oh, but I need to go out for a few minutes. Pop! Okay,
yeah. Well,
let's go manage my real estate on the go.
You know how you're supposed to do that?
On the Vita, but you know what's better than the Vita app? Not having to transfer it to the Vita.
It's true.
Just picking up and going.
So, it sounds like someone got a Switch.
I did. I got the Switch. I got it on Friday. I'm very, very happy with it.
Yeah? Would you say it's the best Nintendo console ever made?
It depends what your criteria of best is. Mechanically and functionality wise, yes.
Yeah.
It is the best.
Yeah.
I mean, the 64 still has the most games I like playing on it.
Yes.
So until the Switch has more games, I can't really say.
Okay.
But as far as that's concerned, but yeah, it's from a design aspect, everything about it is perfect.
Okay.
Other than I hear that the stands are like super cheap if you look at what goes into making them.
I would definitely agree with that. It looks very basic.
It is, and I mean, we all know the controversy with the little kickstand to keep it standing up. Oh, CNET, calm down. Okay, if you haven't seen it, go look at CNET's video of the Wii or the Switch kickstand that holds it up being really awful. They like push it over at one point. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
You won't believe that the Switch doesn't stand up when you push it over.
Yeah.
It is like, imagine Polygon playing through a game in real life. Like, it is that level of like, or like one of those infomercials where they show you how everyone does everything completely wrong. Like when the guy's sitting there with the big bowl of Cheetos in his lap and he reaches over to get the phone and just drops it everywhere. It's like, oh no, my Cheetos. It feels exactly like something like that. I would definitely say this is my favorite Nintendo console. Just from... The only thing that would make it better for me is a clamshell design.
Yes.
I really love the clamshells. I love having that built-in screen protector. I'm not upset, really, that it doesn't have one. I think it's a little cumbersome to carry around a case, but...
Yeah, I agree with you about the case, but at the same time, I feel a little bit safer than a clamshell in the sense that it's protecting it everywhere, and especially with a console that's so delicate feeling.
Yeah. I've only used your Switch briefly. I'm not sure whether I can give a good review of the buttons. I tooled around in Zelda for just a few minutes.
You have a problem where... The problem with the Switch is where the analog sticks are to look around isn't incredibly comfortable, I find. However, you look around a lot in games, whereas Zelda, you're supposed to be pressing the L button to recenter yourself.
Oh, okay.
A lot, because you never had that free camera in most of them, so you never used it. So most of us are in that habit. So I think it's a little bit different for Zelda gamers.
Okay.
And I mean, who is playing the Switch hardcore? Let's face it, we're all playing Zelda.
It's true.
Like, what do you buy the Switch for? Skyrim?
Snipper clips.
Well, that's casual too.
I hear that. I hear that Snipper clips is the MVP of the Switch. Like, if you want another game to play, check out Snipper clips.
I want it so bad. It looks really, really fun. A little pricey for me, but I don't know how long it is. No one can tell me.
Blaster Master Zero comes out tomorrow, I think.
So?
Blaster Master Zero is the high point.
No.
Of what's coming out on the Switch at this point.
No. I want to play Snipper clips. But anyway, yeah.
What I want from the Switch now is that back catalog of virtual console stuff. I want Mario 64 on the go. Like, if you could give me that, I would be all in on the Switch.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the 64 games will be
awesome. And just I think if I had Pokemon Snap, Mario 64, as soon as and not just that, throw in the GameCube games. As soon as you can give me GameCube games just downloadable on the go.
Yeah, I don't know why they haven't made every GameCube game $20, I guess. No,
even $20 would be fine.
Yeah.
As long as they've got the good control parity.
Yeah.
I see no reason why $20.
Well, I mean, the controller is pretty similar. It's going to be fine.
If the second that Chibi Robo is available on the Switch,
yes,
the second I own a Switch.
Yes, I completely agree with you. I don't know what's going on with the Virtual Console. I wish they would say something. It's really frustrating. My guess is they don't know what they're doing still.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They've been so secretive with the Switch. And it's doing really amazing. And it's been way better than I expected. I was thinking secret equals bad. I was expecting a pretty mediocre console. Zelda looked fun. I was going to buy it, but I got something that exceeded my expectations, so I guess at this point, I don't know. Nintendo could do anything. I don't know.
Given how well Zelda runs,
it
has me really looking forward to the other unique franchises, like the next Shin Megami Tensei game. They've all been 3DS exclusive since I think 4.
Yeah.
And then all of them, like Double Survivor, SMT4 Apocalypse,
they've just advertised one, especially in the Switch conference.
Yeah, exactly. But that is going to be so cool. The thing that the Switch for me does better than anything else is that on the go functionality. If I need to go somewhere and I, as you said, need to grind, that is so much of a chore to sit on the couch and do. But if I can just pull that up wherever, grind a couple of levels, and then put it back down.
But have it on the TV for the really cool moments that you want something a little better than portable.
Yeah. But honestly, there are games that I like being portable. I like SMT4 specifically because it's portable. I don't think I would play that as much as I did if it wasn't, because I don't have the time sync. There are other games that I want to play on the big screen.
I completely agree with you. But then again, there's times where it's I really want to see this moment or play this part on the TV. So, for me, I really like that versatility. Play it however you want. That's totally your call. Mm-hmm. Even with Zelda, there's been times where I've just picked it up and gone, and then it's okay, I'm about to fight this really cool boss. I'm going to put this back on the TV because I want to see it on the big screen.
Yeah. Watching you play Zelda makes me want to play Zelda. I famously dislike Zelda.
Yes.
I think it's interesting, but it's just not my kind of thing. I don't know. It's never something that really clicked with me. I don't know why. I think it's
because it was too hard for you when it came out.
Possibly, but I think it's more of a case of I watched my brother play through most of them.
Yeah,
and it just every time that I saw it, it looked like it was the exact same thing over and over and over again. And then the second I played Skyward Sword, I definitely felt like it was the exact same thing over and over again, even though that was a fairly big departure from the norm. But it's just I don't know what it is.
I personally think this new Zelda breaks every single routine and norm from the Zelda
I agree.
series.
I agree.
While still being a great Zelda game. There's still enough Zelda in there that it feels like you're playing a Zelda game, but the departure is quite welcomed. It's not the same formula over and over again. It's not the same puzzles. Use the hook shot, use the ice arrows, use the fire arrows. Like, you're not doing those exact same puzzles. Mm-hmm. With the exception of maybe the bombs, but even the bombs are used pretty creatively.
I typically have a real problem with physics playgrounds. Yeah. I think that the way they usually set themselves up is kind of unappealing to me. Right. Which I thought would be another huge mark against the way the new Zelda runs.
Yeah, because it is a lot of physics-based puzzles.
It is, but I'm finding that every single time that there is something that's physics-based, you use it in such an interesting way. It's not... Yes. Typically, physics-based shit is always... There's a seesaw, put something heavy on one end to boost yourself up the other side.
Well, then, A Link Between Worlds did a lot of that, and Zelda...
I hate it.
As a whole, did a lot. Like, A Link Between Worlds had a whole puzzle that was like you had to freeze the seesaws. I
hate that shit. I hate it. Like, that was all Half-Life 2 was for me as well.
Yeah, it's so unimaginative. It's where's the thinking?
It's,
Sorry,
I'm just saying that it's kind of... I don't want to say tropey, but it's just boring.
It's repetitive.
Yeah.
Like, once, fine, we've solved the puzzle. But Zelda often will fall into this trap of it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And you get really used to
I felt that exact same way about Skyward Sword. Skyward
Sword was very bad.
Skyward Sword felt like I was doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like,
I would say Skyward Sword was one of the worst for it, even. Especially because you went back to those dungeons and revisited them.
Yeah.
You still used the same powers in the dungeons. Like, you didn't... I can't remember exactly, but we didn't get new items, did we? When we went back?
I don't remember.
For the most part.
But we played that in such a weird, convoluted way, because we played it like... We played it for the first, like, week, like, pretty solid, and then we fell off for over a year, because we just stopped caring. We got to the halfway point where they made you go back to all the dungeons you've been to before, and we're like, okay, we're out.
Yeah. Well, Skyward Sword even had some new weapons and new items, like the beetle you controlled and stuff like that. Like, it had some cool stuff, but they weren't used very imaginatively.
The best thing, I think, for me, from Skyward Sword was the story. I really liked that story. I liked the weird, almost high school tropey setting with like Bruce and young Zelda. I thought that collection of characters was really cool. I liked, what was it, Impa?
Yeah.
I think it was, or I can't remember her name. The old lady there. I thought... all of her stuff and that lore was really cool. But just... And even Skyloft. I think Skyloft is one of my favorite locations ever. And everything else about that world I just don't give a shit about. Like, at all.
Yeah.
Even there was one cool part with the time traveling. I would be happy to
sailing.
It wasn't the dungeon. It was the sailing part that was cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. And... Skyward Sword had a lot of cool ideas that were not really put together very well, but I find when Zelda games as a whole started to get repetitive kind of after Ocarina of Time, because, well, Majora's Mask being the exception, and it's because you got these items.
So really just after Majora's Mask.
Yes, but Majora's Mask, but the reason why I say Ocarina of Time is because the weapon set in there and the puzzle solutions are almost the same kind of trope over and over again. Yes, in the previous games you had the Water Temple, the Fire Temple, all of that, but after Ocarina of Time and the switch to 3D, you kind of did the same thing over and over again. Even with Wind Waker, which should have been really different, still ended up kind of being the same game, even though the world was so changed.
Yeah.
And I think that's been Zelda's problem for a while. It's a little bit... It's good.
Yeah.
It's like Pokemon. It's good, but it's stale. We need something different. We need a departure. We need to grow up. The series needs to grow up with us.
But do you think Breath of the Wild has done that?
Yes.
Do you think they've achieved that goal of being for an older audience?
Absolutely.
Do you think that a younger player could still enjoy Breath of the Wild?
I don't.
Really?
I actually don't.
I totally disagree.
It depends on the age. What are we talking younger? Because I played Ocarina of Time at maybe 9 or 10, and I don't think I could have handled Breath of the Wild.
I think I could have at 9 or 10.
It's too... Maybe with a player's guide, but it's hard. I guess if I were to be patient, I could go grind all of the dungeon, like the little dungeons first.
I see what you're saying.
But you don't get enough hearts. It's really difficult.
I just... knowing myself at 9 or 10, I think that I would have had the patience and, like, the stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you would have gotten frustrated and were like, okay, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
Whereas I would have
I don't know, because I played Majora's Mask at, what year did it come out? I was 11, I think?
Yeah.
And I beat that whole... I got all the masks, everything. Yeah. That's a lot of patience. Like, the couples mask is a huge pain.
Well, I mean, I've got kids and they all play Minecraft. And, you know, that is something that, you know, has very... it's difficult to understand rule set in how you have to craft things and eat things and farm things.
But it's mainly crafting or fighting. The problem with Breath of the Wild is you're not just crafting stuff. That's not the complicated part, I don't think. I think kids can work that out.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's quite difficult. The puzzles are also... Unless they're... Okay. If the kid has a player's guide, yes. They could beat it. Without a player's guide?
Disagree.
No. Without a player's guide, I don't think some of these puzzles would be that doable with kids. Like, as an adult, I'm getting a lot of aha moments, but as a child, I really don't think that a 10-year-old can solve these puzzles.
I bet you either of us could.
No, I don't think so. At that age, I would have probably used a player's guide. I know that I needed one the first time I played Ocarina of Time, even.
But Ocarina of Time has less direction. Like, Ocarina of Time is...
No, I knew where to go, but, like, in the Water Temple, I mean. Or...
But, again, I would if at 10 years old, I would have just thrown myself at it over and over and over again until I beat it.
I had so many games.
See, that's the problem. Like,
this was the Nintendo 64
I understand. I had a bunch of games, too, but... Me and my brother would just sit there and throw ourselves at puzzles until we solved them.
Yeah, but he didn't play... He wouldn't have played games like that with you when you were 10 because he would have only been 5.
True. At that time, we were playing probably the Mega Drive.
Exactly.
But still, we would throw ourselves at Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But that wasn't a
puzzle. Like, it was a...
We played puzzle games.
Those puzzle games don't compare. Let me give you an example, and this is going back to the physics playground, of a puzzle I did today in Breath of the Wild. That kind of threw me off for a little bit because I forgot it was a mechanic that I had because I haven't used it.
Okay.
It's not really a spoiler because, like, the way these dungeons work. So you get...
Okay, Cal. I want you to just take a breath and slow down.
No, I cannot do that. So, let me point out right now that if you don't want to know anything about Breath of the Wild, maybe don't listen to this podcast because I'm going to talk about it. But,
no story spoilers.
No story spoilers, but if you don't want to know anything at all. So you get these different, what are they called? Slates? Yeah, slates. And one of them is to stop time. And when you stop time, you can hit things, and then they move in that trajectory that you've hit them.
They kind of store your power.
Yes.
And then they launch in the direction that you hit them.
Right. What I didn't realize is hitting multiple times increases that power.
Really?
Yes.
That seems so obvious.
Well, the problem is it takes a few whacks before the color of the arrow changes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't notice at first.
Okay.
So anyway, this was a puzzle where you had to take a ball and freeze it, and then in time and whack it 4 times, not 5. 5 is the max.
Yeah.
And then it launches over a fence and into a hole.
Okay.
And you had to make sure it was lined up right and aimed right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So this is a great example of the way the physics playground works perfectly. Yeah. It's so creative. It's something that I've never done in a Zelda game before.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done this in a video game before like that.
There was a GDC talk where they kind of did a breakdown. Like, it was like this last weekend.
Yeah.
Where they actually sat down and went through how the sausage was made with Breath of the Wild. And they said that the physics playground was what they call fake physics. Mm-hmm. And whilst they're not exactly earthly physics, they're set up to be replicable. So every time you do something, you know the same outcome is going to happen.
Yes,
so like
so
when you hit a ball 5 times, you know the distance is going to go every single time without fail. And I just thought it was interesting that they...
It's a cartoony world that needs cartoony physics.
Yeah, exactly. But they need to be consistent.
Yes. Well, or else you wouldn't be able to solve these puzzles.
Yeah.
But all the puzzles are like that. There are all these small, self-contained ideas that make you feel really smart once you solve them, but they're not really obvious at first. Like, some of them you walk in and you're like, okay, I kind of see what I'm going to do here.
Yeah.
But a lot of them take a few minutes to sit around and think, okay, here's what I have, here's what's available to me, and to kind of use those powers in different ways. And that's something, like, it's not a typical Zelda game. You don't have your hook shot. You don't have your...
I find it so strange there's no hook shot in this.
Right? Like, that's the biggest one.
I don't know why they didn't just give it to you.
Yeah.
But could you imagine traversing those towers if you just pull a hook shot?
But I think that's why they...
Yeah, but like, don't give me a long shot. Just give me a hook shot. Just something that I can zip with.
And I don't know. I haven't played enough. Maybe it comes... Maybe you get one later. I don't know.
Possibly. I'd hope so, because the hook shot is such an iconic thing, and it seems strange that it wouldn't be there.
I'm only about a quarter of the way through, maybe. Like, I've cleared out one dungeon to the point where I'm at the boss, but I haven't beat the boss yet because I only had 3 hearts. So I thought it was time to go do some of these little smaller dungeons and grind to get some more hearts and stuff like that. But overall, I'm having a great time. I took off all my clothes. I bought a house. I got 10 grasshoppers for some guy. Or, sorry, crickets.
That is pretty sick. And again, watching you play it makes me more than ever want to check it out. Like, it feels like the first time there's not this... it's not the same story.
It's a way different story.
Oh, man, I really dislike Zelda's story. It's just not for me. But this... this is the first time, and I mean, it is kind of the same, but the way it's presented feels totally different, especially like once you start getting like to the meat of it and start having like the weird story flashbacks and things like that.
Yeah, and the world building and stuff. Like when you talk to people and then, like, I mean, this happens right at the beginning of the game. You lose your memory. You've lost your memory. Yeah. So you talk to people and they're like, hey, you remember me? And you're like, no. Yeah. And that's the whole game, basically. There's all these people that you had come in contact with in the past that you don't know, so you're trying to figure out what's going on and everything. Yeah. And you the player are in the same boat as the character, which I really appreciate. I hate when characters know more than the player. Yeah.
I would like to see that world maybe a little more messed up. Like, everyone seems still so happy-go-lucky, even though, like, there's literally an apocalypse everyone can see all the time.
But I think it's one of those things where you start to adapt to it, and it just becomes your, like, normal way of life. I mean, it's been a century. I guess so.
Oh, time for the, what's it called?
The blood moon.
The blood moon.
For all the enemies to reset.
Yeah. Which I think is a really cool idea as well.
It's super creepy looking, too.
It is, but I think it's a really neat idea to reset the world.
Yeah. There's nothing in this game that is really Nintendo-y. And I think that you know, and I hope the audience knows, exactly what I mean when I say Nintendo-y. It's like when they just purposefully fuck everything up because they're Nintendo. Yeah. And they just make everything obtuse or weird, or they have this weird Nintendo quirk about it.
I think that everything is obtuse, but...
I mean, other than the controls being a little weird, that's not really a Nintendo thing. That's just
It makes me think of... The new Zelda, for whatever reason, makes me feel the same way that Splatoon did. Yeah. Where it's a game that they just got. Like, it makes sense. It's nothing that's, like, bizarre or
Nintendo-y, right?
Yeah, like, I feel like, as you said, Splatoon is not Nintendo-y. It feels like a modern video game. With all the quality of life stuff that the new Zelda has, it feels like a game from today, not the same game they've been remaking for the last 10 years.
Yeah, like the new Super Mario Brothers, for example, is a great game. It's like it's a pretty great game in design, and then you can hate each other when you're playing multiplayer. Yeah. Like Nintendo Y. That's what I mean by Nintendo-y. They just do these weird things that just ruin the whole game.
That completely just kills any interest I have in buying Super Mario Brothers, like new Super Mario Brothers. Yes. Like, I want to get those games for my kids every time I see them. And then I check to see whether they still have collision physics, and they do, and that's it.
Yeah, they can play together. They will fight. They will kill each other, and they will cry.
I have seen them hit each other with controllers over being bounced off platforms.
Well, it's frustrating, so I get it.
I hate it. Yeah. I yell at them when I play because I get bounced off a platform.
And it's not like you can help doing it.
I'm an adult. Like, how am I supposed to get my kids to understand that...
It's just a game.
Yeah.
They make these games for children.
Yeah, and they frustrate me.
But... Going back to Breath of the Wild, a great example of something good they do is the quest system. So every quest, once you unlock it, shows up on your quest screen, and then you can just put your marker on it and say, that's what the quest I'm doing now, and it'll tell you where to go. So it's this open world, and you don't have to pick up these quests, but the guys have a little red exclamation mark above their head if they're important. So you talk to them, you get your quest, or you could walk right by them. But I mean, it's pretty... in the sense that it's non-linear in the sense that you could miss these characters, and there are characters just in the middle of nowhere where it's like, oh wow, this is here. Like that one that I found, you watched me, where you meet someone in the middle of a field and they give you they sing you this song which gives you a riddle which you need to solve in order to unlock a temple to show up so you can get out whatever the gems are to get pieces of heart or stamina.
I thought that was so cool.
It was so great. I
want more of that stuff in the game.
There might be more of it. I don't know.
That was my second favorite part of the game.
There's so much to explore, but it makes you feel so smart when you solve it. Yeah. I don't think a kid could solve that riddle, though. That was pretty...
I don't think they could, but...
They could look it up, yes.
I could see them going to their parents and asking them...
but I don't think the average parent could have solved that because most people are idiots.
I disagree. I think that someone could have solved that easily. Yeah, I like it. I think that Zelda is definitely the killer app for the Switch right now.
Of course it is. It's really...
But it is on the Wii U as well.
I haven't heard anything about the Wii U version of the game.
I hear it's exactly the same, only it's 720p and there's less draw distance.
There's less draw distance? But what about, is the slowdown worse? Is
slowdown's exactly the same. Pop-in is exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah, it's just the 720p.
But it's not as pretty, is it? Because it's still on the Wii U.
Yeah, it's a little bit less graphically intense. Like, there's not as many blades of grass, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But overall, it is still a very competent game on that system.
Really, I'm surprised that
Me too,
actually surprised the game works because of how much it chugs on the Switch, which maybe says a lot to the Switch not being that much more powerful. I think it's just more optimized.
I find it funny, like, I've been watching people's reactions to the Switch saying that it feels like a piece of hardware from today.
Yes.
And I agree in a sense that I hold that the tablet part of it, like the screen, and it feels like a shitty Android phone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's just me, but
it's just you.
I really don't like the way that, like, when I hold a piece of technology, I feel like I have the iPhone 5C, is it?
Yes.
I feel like that feels better in my hands than the Switch does.
No, I don't agree with you at all.
The Switch feels like one of these, like, these Android-based tablets that I got, and they're just garbage. I think, don't get me wrong, I think they work better. The Switch works better than any of them, but it's just, when I feel it, it feels maybe a little cheaper. And then, again, that'll probably keep the price down, but when I hold it, it feels a little cheaper.
See, I don't feel like my...
Sorry. I just want to reiterate here. It feels better than the Wii U. The Wii U feels like a kid's toy.
Yeah.
This feels like an adult's toy, but it still feels like the cheap version of an adult's toy.
Yeah, but what are you comparing this to?
An iPhone.
An
iPhone 5C.
See, I think your iPhone C feels like a baby's toy.
And that's fine. You got a 6?
Yeah, I have the
6 Plus?
No, the 6.
Oh, just the 6, okay.
6, I mean, it's 6S maybe? I don't know.
Whatever it is, sure.
Yeah, the 6S.
Yeah.
So, I think that feels great because it's super slim. And for me, the
exactly.
width, but your iPhone feels really thick comparatively.
Oh, I totally agree. Compared to that, but I still think that holding a Switch, the Switch feels less impressive than the 5C.
But why are you holding the Switch without the controllers on it? Other than to put the little kickstand
Look, I totally get what you're saying.
No one's using this like
that.
No,
I understand. It's just everyone... I've just been seeing everyone saying that it feels
But they're talking
modern.
about it with the controllers on it.
I guess.
Like, you're grading it on a piece of technology that's meant as a transition... Like, it's a transition to a different gameplay style. The only time you're holding that piece of tablet by itself is when you're putting the kickstand up or snapping controllers to it. Or putting it in the cradle.
I understand what you're saying, but I mean, even when I'm holding the controllers on the system, it feels fine. It feels perfectly fine.
Exactly.
But as soon as I put into rest mode and then just turn to hold it, it feels weird. It doesn't feel.
It
doesn't feel expensive.
Really, I don't.
Which it is. It's an expensive toy, but
I don't agree with you. I don't think it feels any less expensive than something like the Vita or.
I feel like the screen feels less impressive than the Joy-Cons. I feel like the Joy-Cons feel really sleek. We've got the colored ones, and they look great.
I think the bulk of the technology is in the Joy-Cons.
No,
I mean,
what are you talking about?
Let me elaborate.
Okay.
The bulk of the new technology, the
HD Rumble.
Well, just the way they work and everything. The Switch itself, it is essentially it's a tablet screen. This isn't new technology. Inside is like the processor and everything for the console, but the Joy-Cons are really Nintendo's like creative process. This is like what they've made new.
Yeah.
The Switch, like the system itself, is existing off the shelf technology.
Yeah. I like the Joy-Cons. I've really got nothing bad to say about them, except I really wish they had a D-pad.
What a baby one.
That's not a baby one. That's a start button.
Oh, I guess they don't have a D-pad.
That's not a D-pad.
Wait, what's the
D-pad are buttons.
There's a D-pad on the left side.
That's not the buttons.
What do you? What?
It's not a D-pad. It's a set of buttons. It's not a cross. It's not. There's no D-pad on that controller.
On the left one.
Hold on a second. Let me bring up a picture of a Switch.
What am I using to switch weapons? I guess they are buttons. They just look like a D-pad.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
The diagonals. There's you can't do a quarter circle forward. Say you want to play.
You can't hit two at once.
I mean, you can, but you can't roll on it like you do a D-pad. You can't do a quarter circle forward like you would in a Street Fighter or something like that.
Oh! Who cares? Nobody likes Street Fighter.
Okay, so I guess you know what? If we just want to talk out our ass, then Switch is great. Nintendo never makes any faults.
No, it's going to be
great. I mean, they've been hyping up Super Street Fighter 2 for the Switch.
Well, then don't play. Super Street Fighter 2 for the Switch is dumb. I don't know why you'd want to buy that.
I mean, it's got a first-person review mode.
I hate Street Fighter so bad. I do not like that game.
Why?
It's not fun. I don't like fighting games to begin with.
What about Mortal Kombat?
That's better.
Really?
It's top tier.
Yeah, I agree.
Street Fighter shit. Mortal Kombat is the way
Mortal
to go.
Kombat is so much better than Street Fighter. Yes. Dare I say it?
I personally don't give a shit if my D-pad has the...
Sorry. I just need to reiterate here. Mortal Kombat up to Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the 64 is great. Mm-hmm. After that, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike on the Dreamcast is the high point for Street Fighter, and after that, everything else can go to hell.
Did you play Clay Fighter on the 64?
Yes, it's fucking awful.
Really? I love
Clay Fighter 63 and a third?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
I thought it was 63 and a quarter.
I don't know what it is. It's bad. I hate it.
Really? I like that.
I don't like Clay Fighter. The best part about Clay Fighter is that Earthworm Jim was in it.
Fight me in Clay Fighter.
No, I wouldn't subject myself to that.
I think I played as the one that was like a blob maybe that turned into stuff.
I think there was a blob.
Yeah.
All I remember is the snowman guy and Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim, yeah.
And I think at one point Boogerman might have been in it. I'm pretty sure Boogerman is in Clay Fighter.
I don't know. There was a Clay Fighter on the SNES.
Hold on a second.
So,
hold on. We're gonna look this up here. Here we go, Boogerman on the Clay Fighter wiki. There he is.
Right, it was 63 and a third.
Yeah. 63 and a third. Sumo Santa versus Boogerman. Oh,
I forgot it was Sumo Santa.
This game sucks so bad.
Really?
I hate it.
I liked it so much.
But then of course I think that the pinnacle of fighting games is Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast. And after that, everything else can go right in the garbage.
Soul Calibur was alright.
Soul Calibur's so good. Remember Yoshimitsu?
Yes,
and
I remember.
His sword pogo stick?
I like it, but it was just...
Killick and Cassandra with her booblies.
Yeah, but
what a good video game.
I liked it on the GameCube. We talked about this
Sophia.
before. We talked about this before. I preferred it on the GameCube.
Yeah, because
it was better and tighter, though.
It was... That was Soul Calibur 2.
Yes.
Soul Calibur 1 on the Dreamcast was the pinnacle. No. Everything else after that can go in the trash.
You're wrong. Fight me in Soul Calibur.
I will.
I'll beat you.
No, you won't.
Oh, really?
I'll tell you right now, no one will beat me with Killick in Soul Calibur or Yoshimitsu. As soon as I get the pogo
Soul
sword...
Soul Calibur 2.
No, it's not Soul Calibur 2. You said fight me in Soul Calibur.
No, Soul Calibur 2.
No, we're not doing that.
That's the only one I played.
Well, I guess you're going to be looking for a bruising in Soul Calibur 1.
Okay, is the one with... I think my character's in it. I'll try. I could probably beat you. I'm better than you at everything.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I propose a three-tiered contest.
Okay.
Of Soul Calibur, Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
No Mortal Kombat. And, no. I didn't play Mortal Kombat.
I thought you just said it was better than Street Fighter.
I did, but I didn't play a lot of it.
And then Street Fighter 3 Third Strike.
I don't like Street Fighter.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. We'll play Clay Fighter. Yeah, the baby's game where everything's literally made out of clay.
I probably don't even know the controls. Last time I played that there was video stores and I rented it.
And I will still beat you.
I really doubt that.
We will play... What's another good fighting game?
Mortal Kombat.
We will play Power Stone.
Okay.
And then we will play Boombots.
Jack the Ripper or whatever.
We'll play Boombots. And then we will play Wu-Tang Enter the Shaolin.
No, you don't get to pick the games.
And then we will play...
No. Why do you get to pick all the games?
Because you challenged me.
No, let's play Katamari Damacy.
Well, that's not really a fighting game.
Yes, it is.
No,
there's a fighting mode.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
There's not a fighting mode.
There's a two-player mode.
That's a competitive mode. There's not a fighting mode.
Well,
unless I can throw a punch, it doesn't count as a fighting mode.
Okay,
Wu-Tang, Shaolin style.
Only punches then in Soul Calibur.
Okay.
No pogo swords.
Okay, that's fair.
Final Destination. Hey,
just tell me real quick, which character only throws punches in Soul Calibur? Probably
none of them. I don't know.
They all have weapons.
I didn't exactly. That's why Soul Calibur is now disqualified by your rules.
Mm-hmm. I believe that were your rules because you said no weapons, punches only.
You said that I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Do you want to get you a shovel to dig your way out of that hole?
No, you said something and I can't remember now. I'm itchy. You know why?
And then we will play Rakugaki Showtime.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, it's kind of like Power Stone for the PS1. It's got it's the best thing about it. Everything's kind of like a weird doodle on a piece of paper.
Oh,
but it plays kind of like Power Stone. The best thing about it though is that it has Marina Light-Years from what's it called there, Mischief Makers as a secret character. Everything else about that game kind of sucks though.
Yeah, I didn't play too much PS1 games because I didn't have a PS1, and then I didn't have a mod at PS1 like you did.
We had so many games.
I know disgusting. You did. It was disgusting.
Do you remember? I remember getting so many like illegal games.
No, I didn't do that because I didn't have any illegal games because I was a good person.
The statute of limitations has to be up on that, right? No one's going to come after me for that.
I think piracy laws are super lax.
I agree. But I remember because our internet was so bad in Australia at the time, we used to have to pay someone to buy games from. Like, it was too hard to burn our own, and it was just too... it was too hard to download them. Like, it was really difficult. You had to use news groups at the time. That was the easiest way to get your hands on them. I mean, you could try finding them on, like, SoulSeek. Do you remember SoulSeek?
No.
Yeah, you probably would.
The only thing I ever used to download games that was weird was IRC.
I used to download
all my GBA ROMs on there.
You can get them from IRC. Shouts out GBA Temp.
Yes, that's where I used to get them.
GBA Temp, you're the best. Yeah. Direct connecting to people. Oh, man. You know what? Whatever happened in GBA Temp?
Maybe modernization.
I'm pretty sure I've been onto GBA Temp recently.
Yeah.
And I remember I was just kind of browsing for something. I wanted to see how hard it was to mod a 3DS, I think.
Yeah.
And I posted on one of their threads, and like the first reaction was like, "Holy shit, this guy's account is over 10 years old." Like, I've only got like 63 posts on there in my entire lifetime.
And it's only been like, hey, does the new update brick the DS? Because back when we could hack DS is super easy.
But this is like, I haven't visited this site since, oh god. Like, it was years in between. Like, every year I get the bug and I go and check out GBA Temp. Just to see whether it's still there. At this point, my account on GBA Temp, I think, is older than, like, the current owner of the site.
That's hilarious. I have an account like that on modthesims.com.
Nice.
The same thing. It was like when The Sims came out, I made this account, and then it turned into modthesims2.com. And I had an account on there, and I kept the same account throughout. Yeah. And I was like, Mod The Sims 4. I think it's just back to Mod The Sims. I don't know. They keep
was there any... Here's an interesting topic that I'd like to bring up here.
What?
Has there ever been a game that you have acquired through either illegal means or piracy or whatever the case may be, that's gone on to be one of your favorite games, to where now you're such a rampant fan of it that you're all in on purchasing it? Like, has piracy turned you into a fan of something?
Absolutely.
To the point?
Yes. I mean, let me point you to Berserk on the Dreamcast.
Yes.
I never would have played that. I never would have had the opportunity to play that.
I'm pretty sure I gave you that.
Yeah, you gave me
I gave you the bird version of that.
Yeah, the bird version of Berserk on the Dreamcast. I'm like, this game is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. I had a friend, and I'm like, dude, you gotta come over and play this game.
Yeah.
And I made him. I'm like, get over to my house. You're gonna play this game. I made him play the whole game. It's not very long.
No, it's not.
It's like really short, actually.
It's really arcadey, too. Like,
yeah. I'm like, you fucking sit down and you play through this game. And he's like, oh my god, this is great. And also, this controller is like the Xbox controller. Yeah. But anyway... Yeah, and then I found it in a game store and I picked it up. It was like $40 or something.
It's totally worth it. Yeah. But that's one of the games that I just adore. Berserk. I would say maybe not the biggest fan, but Evolution. When the Dreamcast was first hackable, I went to we have really shady markets in Australia, and you can just go there and just pick up.
They're fantastic. I got my Uggs there.
Yeah, exactly. But at the time, before they really cracked down on it, people just had rows of just pirated games, and you just walk up to any stall and be like, "Hey, have you got what we're looking for here?" And they're like, "Oh yes, come look." And they would pull open like a box, and it would just be like all the games you can dream of. Yeah. For like $5 a piece. And
$5 a piece. Doesn't that seem horrible to pay $5 for a pirated game?
I mean, well, no. At the time, again, internet was so shitty in Australia that it was worth it.
Right, but they were so small. Like, was it that bad? I mean, I was downloading anime at the time.
Yes, it was that bad because even when the Dreamcast came out, we were still on dial-up.
Weren't you on that super fast dial-up like we had? Where you could the thing would pop up on the screen and you could add to the phone and have caller ID.
No, like 60k a second, like 60k down. That was it.
Whatever the fastest download for dial-up was.
We were also
that's what we had, 256?
We were also kind of rural as well.
So were we.
Yeah, I think 256, but whatever.
But I guess we had the military base there, so we kind of had the lines run.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, Evolution, The World of Sacred Device, we picked up both the first and the second one for that. And that was just this weird little anime game, about people using Psy-frames, which are these body enhancement kind of things. It's super adorable. Everyone's named after some kind of weapon. And eventually, I couldn't find those to buy, and then eventually I bought it on the GameCube when they came out with a trilogy pack. And it's like, okay, I would like to give more to this series, but that's literally all I can do. Yeah. Because after Evolution on the GameCube, that was it. They never made any more Evolution games. Apparently I was the only one who bought it.
Yeah, but I don't even think you bought it new, did you?
I think I might have, but it was like crazy reduced price. It was like, remember, I only just played Chibi Robo like 5 years after the GameCube was done. Like when the PlayStation 3 was out, I played Chibi Robo.
Yeah, we picked it. Well, it was still expensive.
It was $10. No,
that one went down.
That was on like a deep discount. EB Games.
It was yeah, you're right. It was $10,
and they had it for $10 for one day only. So I bought a copy of Chibi Robo.
I don't know if it was one day only. I worked there at the time.
No, it was one day only. I remember seeing it.
I probably told you about it. I'm like, hey, I just marked down this game.
No, I saw it on the website. And I came in and...
I don't think the website had pricing back then.
Yeah. Well, no, they used to post their deals of the day.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. And that's how I used to...
Oh, that's right, yes.
So then I'd look at that and
I used to have to mark those down.
Yeah, then I'd come into your work and I remember coming in just as you guys had marked down Chibi Robo and be like, oh, I just saw this on the site. I want to get this. It's a Nintendo first-party game. It's super weird. I want to check it out.
Yeah.
Still, favorite game on the system.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as like piracy is concerned and like really getting into games, I mean, there's been quite a few of them actually that I would say has probably turned me into a fan. I don't know so much about PC games though. That's the one place where I think I've pirated stuff and never really gone into...
I feel like every time I pirate something on the PC, I play it for like 30 seconds and I'm like, and I just walk away and don't care.
I have pirated games that I've previously purchased on the PC because I can't find the discs.
That's
so they've
fair.
Gotten wrecked.
That's not even piracy.
I just bought just started playing Caesar 3, and it was like, well, I own this game, I just don't know where it is. And I'm too lazy.
I thought you got that one from GOG.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah, that's totally it. The Wii is another one where we had it. We didn't pick up a lot of the games. Even though we have it.
Yeah, but like the only games that I would have considered buying,
I want to go back to.
The only thing I want to go back to on the Wii is Taiko. That's true. The Wii is my Taiko machine.
That's true.
And if I could have imported those, I would have.
Yeah, well, the Wii U especially with the actual drum. Yeah. But the DS on the other hand, I don't have access to my blank cartridge really anymore. Or my DS, like I don't know, I don't even know where anything is. So I've actually picked up a few games to play them on my 3DS. Rocket Slime is one, and then there's been a couple other ones where I've seen them for $5 and picked them up because it's like I really liked this game.
Or best example. I'm sorry, but best example is Mother 3. Like we can't play that anywhere else in English except for through like illegal means.
Yes, but as soon as it comes out in English,
but the second it comes out, I'm buying it. It is the game that kind of turned me into a Mother fan. Like
I bought Earthbound again on the Wii U, even though I actually own this one, guys. And I just say, Nintendo, please release Mother 3 or please continue to release more games like this because this one's so much fun.
How awesome is it going to be once that virtual console is ready on the Switch and you're playing Earthbound on the Switch
the problem
and then you
is
just dump it into your TV?
The problem is they're going to make me rebuy it.
And you'll rebuy it. Yeah. You get an itch to replay that game every year.
I'm going to fucking rebuy Stardew Valley.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you
Now I'm mad. I stopped playing on the PS4 because I'm like, oh fuck, I want to play portable. Like, I'm so mad that they announced it on the Switch right after I bought it. Of course.
Yeah. That's a bit of a pain.
Not much you can do, but... Oh, well. I'm sure that there's others that I can't think of right now, though. You know what the worst was, though? I feel like piracy now, like, if you were to download a game and play it, and it's like what we used to do with the video store. Once upon a time, we would rent the games. If we really liked them, we would become fans and try and purchase them.
Yes.
Now, I will download a game, and not necessarily as much anymore because it's really difficult to mod things, but there was a time in between when video stores died or became prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
And where I would try it out, if I like it, I'll pick it up. I consider it more of like a rental service. Like, it's not often that I will purposefully take a game and play through the whole thing and actually... consider it a sales loss for the company.
Not anymore. Like, if I was going to pirate something at this point, I was never going to buy that in the first place. But just because of that, and just because I don't have any time right now I only buy the games that I feel like I know I'm going to like.
Yeah, and most of the games that I play, I actually purchase legitimately, especially in the Humble Bundles, have been great. Steam sales have been great.
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus... they've really enabled us to have access to quite a good library of decent games for almost nothing. So there's not a lot of incentive to pirate anymore unless you're really broke and you just want the newest game and you just can't afford it.
Which, in that case, you're not going to buy it anyway.
You weren't going to buy it.
That's always something that...
I would rather... You might as well... You could buy it used, but that's just the same as piracy. Really. When it comes to the developers, they're not getting any money in their pocket.
It does. I mean, you feel morally fine with like you feel morally okay because you didn't pirate it, but you basically didn't give the developer any money. Like, I wish there was some kind of extra way to profit split with the developer when it came to used games, because, or even the publisher, because I do feel like they deserve some of that money.
Yeah. Especially with the smaller titles or stuff that, like, I mean, the big AAA games, it doesn't hurt them as much.
Could you see a statute of limitations on used games then? Like, could you see a law coming in? Well, maybe not. I mean, in this weird fantasy dystopia that I've concocted in my head. How would you feel about a law that prohibits the resale of used games for up to 1 year after release?
I think it's too challenging, first of all, to monitor. Second of all, in what situation?
Heavy fines, and if they're caught doing it, that fine goes directly to the developer.
I think that video game is your property, and I think that you have the right to do with it what you want. So if I want to sell this to my neighbor, that's my thing. And who is to say, like, what is a sale? How do you track a transaction? How do you know if I've sold it or if I've loaned it or if
No, you don't, but if you're caught doing it, heavy fine.
I don't know. I don't think that would be a practical way to take care of that situation. Something better would be for publishers to just drop, like, just unanimously go behind, like, go into a room, have a dinner like in Hamilton, and see, I'm gonna like it, everything. Anyway, just go.
I'm shaking my head disapprovingly.
Have a meeting together and just plot against GameStop and the big used game companies and say, you know what, fuck these guys.
The only way that's gonna work is when digital is available for everyone.
Or start offering way heavier discounts on their digital products.
I mean, they already have. Like, if you look at Sony's, if you look at the PlayStation Store, the discounts are insane at this point.
And that is basically discount, or digital is the ticket for. But I still think that they need some kind of. The problem is that people really want those ways to recoup their costs and to purchase the next game, and it's really difficult for them without an ability to resell to do that. So something that would be better for...
How do you feel about digital reselling then? So say I can't remember what... There is a store out there that does this.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is. It's an online store where you can sell your games back and you get a percentage credit back to put towards something else.
See, I'm okay with that because basically when you're buying a digital game, you're buying a license to that game, not the actual game. But if you want to sell back your license, I think that should be okay. But I think that a portion of that... I don't know how you would handle, again, the developer. Like, you're not... Because it's all digital, you're not really taking money away from the developer. Like, there's no purchasing a used license. That license is just gone. It's digital. We can conjure up as many licenses as we need.
Exactly, but your argument was that you want to give it back to get the next game.
Yeah.
The developers already got their money. This is you giving it back to the store, and then the store gives you just a percentage off. Like, here's 15% off the next game.
What would the motivation be for that? Like, for Sony or something? Because, I mean, they've already handed out the license. They can't resell that license. They don't have a physical entity that they can then profit on. I mean, GameStop does the bulk of its profiting off
here's
of
the
these
incentive.
Games.
Now, you give them a 15% off with an expiration date. You have 6 months to use your purchase, your 15% off that you've sold us back.
Yeah.
The longer you wait to sell back a product, the more that percentage goes down.
I think the tracking complicates things when it comes to services like PlayStation Plus, though.
Yeah.
Or deep discounts. Like, what if my license was only worth $1.50 at rock bottom prices? Like, how are they gonna? They're gonna have to develop some kind of system that can go through your purchase history and track how much money you've spent on the actual title, whether or not you got it for free with a promotion, or whether or not it was a
that's very easy. Anything you got through promotion, no. Anything that you got. Yeah, but what if you
only save 10% off of a $60 game? It's total. It should be within your. You know, that should qualify you for the discount. If a $10 license would.
I would agree with that. Maybe that has to do like every single transaction gets flagged with what discount you used.
Yeah.
So if you use something to purchase that, they would have a flag next to it, and then that would just need another flag that says, okay, if this, then this.
It's more complicated than that, though, when looking at transaction histories.
When looking at databases, it's really not.
It depends on the information stored in the database.
Exactly. But again, it's two extra variables.
No, it depends on how the information is stored. They'd have to rework their entire database. Like, this may not be...
Yes, I would agree with that.
Like, but depending on the software, you're talking about MySQL database.
You could create a database... No, I'm talking about ASP, MySQL. Like, I know how this shit works. Like,
But I don't know if the PlayStation Store specifically, like the one that handles through the console, is stored in a similar database, or if consoles do their own thing.
I mean, just by the way that it's set up, it is stored in our database somehow. It has to be.
You're right, but how...
They don't have a million...
No, of course.
They don't have a million Japanese men there with punch cards. Every time someone buys a purchase, they pop out another couple of holes.
How the information is called is going to be different, and how
I like to think that's how they dealt with the hack.
Yes.
Like the hack from when the PS3 went down.
Thing, what kind of
everything went physical. Every time I purchase something now, they will like, give me a Hitman punch card, and they slide it into my physical folder on my shelf with my PSN ID. And that's why it can't be changed.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna leave. You just start talking about Nier, and we'll be...
yeah.
I'll check in with you at the end. Say goodbye.
Okay, well, luckily we only have 10 minutes left after your tirade of PSN punch cards.
You got my
PSN punch card service. So, okay. So I think that's probably a good spot to leave that topic. I don't think... I mean, there are definitely games that I've gotten to be a fan of just because I purchased the pirated version of it one time. And then it's like, now I'm all in and I'm willing to throw down my adult money on this kind of stuff. Like, now piracy is basically a demo, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I was a kid, piracy was the only way I could play something.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have enough money to afford the new stuff as it came out.
Yeah. But as a kid, you're like a lot less choosy too. I found like when I was young, I would just play whatever, and I was like cool with all of it. But now as an adult, it's like I only want like 3 games that are coming out. Like,
well, this
all of that other shit looks like shit.
This month is being challenging. Like there is a bunch of shit that I want. Like I want a Switch. I want a copy of Zelda.
You don't even like Zelda. You've been shitting on the... Okay, leave a comment if you think the Deacon has been shitting on the Switch too much and that he doesn't deserve one. Don't tell them to do anything. You don't get to.
Okay. I don't particularly want to Switch just for Zelda. I'll steal yours if I really want to play.
You don't want to Switch for anything because you've been shitting on Nintendo.
Okay, that's fine.
You are a shitty Nintendo shitter-otter.
Okay. Well, you got me, but still. I still want to Switch. Maybe not now. Maybe not for Zelda, but eventually once... I'll be honest, once that SMT hits, I'm done buying consoles on the promise of new games. Thank you, Xbox One, for ruining that.
Yes.
At this point,
if nothing else comes out, I'm so happy with Zelda.
Yeah. I mean, we already know more stuff is coming out, though.
I
like
know Mario!
Like Mario,
Nintendo
Shin Megami Tensei, Blaster Master, Snipper Clips looks great.
Nintendo will deliver on the games that they personally have announced. They've always been really good at follow-through when it comes to games.
Yeah.
Like, there's very few exceptions where there has been some that fall, but even like Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem came out, which I was really surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I thought that we were never going to see that.
Yeah.
I really hope that one gets a new life on the Switch.
I agree.
I really do. That was so overlooked by everybody. It's such a wonderful game.
I think Nintendo needs to start just systematically relaunching every fucking Wii U game on the Switch. Like, they're doing it with Mario Kart, and they're making Mario Kart 8 Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
And they need to be like Mario Maker Plus. Like,
that's definitely
everything needs to be just Switch versions.
Yeah.
Because why not? Why not just cash in again? The games were good. The Wii U has a great library.
Mario Maker on the Switch is the most appealing thing to me.
Right?
Like, that makes so much sense. That is the...
Having that on the go and everything, and the way that it threads, like, 2-player.
I would love to just sit there, like I said, I've said before, I sit there and I wait for, like, 3 hours at a time for my kids at dance class. If I could sit there and just design Mario Brothers levels for 3 hours at a time, and then I come home and I stick it in the console and just, here you go, kids, here's what Dad did today.
Yeah.
Go. How awesome would that be?
I think Mario Maker would have a great...
There's no way Mario Maker's not coming to the Switch.
There needs to be a stylus that works with the Switch. Like, I'm surprised. I haven't seen that on the market.
Yeah. I'm actually really shocked too.
Maybe Mario Maker will come with a stylus.
That would be cool. You have to build it yourself.
That would be a good little feature to add with it. But even like, I really want to get Lego City. Even though I've already played it on the Wii U. I didn't finish it. I know it's coming out on the PS4, but I kind of want the Switch version.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be more about the PlayStation 4 version of that.
No, but having that portable is really good.
Unless they keep all of the weird Nintendo references.
Oh, yes.
Because that stuff is going to be completely missing. You would actively be getting less content on the other consoles.
Yeah, and I think that does a disservice because that stuff was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, Switch is great.
Yeah, Switch. How would you, if you were going to review it, how many out of 5 would you give it?
Give Switch?
Yeah. In its current state as of launch with Zelda. Like
as of launch with all my updates.
Yes, like as it stands today. Not with the promise of things to come.
With 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Because I where's my virtual console?
Yeah.
Like if it had the virtual console at launch with like a decent sized library, it would have a solid 5.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that.
I mean, because I know you say not with the promise of more games, but I'm content with Zelda until more games come out.
How do you feel about the return of friend codes?
I don't really care because it hasn't affected me yet.
That's fair. You've got no friends.
No, I had like 8 friends on the Switch, and every single one of them has been a Miitomo friend.
Yeah.
So it's like I already have all my friends on there. I don't really. If someone wants to add me, I don't really give a shit if I have to type in a friend code every now and then because I don't add people enough. Like, okay. I don't see how it's really that different from like my PS4. I don't add people. People don't add me with my username very often. It's just been my Facebook friends. And my Miitomo friends are my Facebook friends because I link Miitomo to Facebook. So it's no different. And I only know like 8 people with the Switch, and they're all on my friends list. Okay. What about you? What do you think? Like,
if I were to rate it, I mean, Zelda's a great game. I think that Zelda is a 10.
Yeah, I give Zelda a solid 10.
Zelda's a 10. Like there is nothing bad about that except for maybe some minor control stuff.
Like,
yeah. Not even like.
But they give me the option to switch stuff.
Again, not how tight it is. It's mechanically solid. It's just I'm still struggling with the controls because it feels ass backwards compared to every other console on the market.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm struggling with the controls. I did switch a couple of controls and they're working better for me though.
Yeah.
And they give you that option.
As far as the rest of the Switch go, as of right now, I would probably say like a 3, a low 3.
But what would you have given the PS4 at launch? Because that really?
Yeah,
I don't agree. 4. I would have given it like a 2.
At the very least, it had online functionality. It had Plus going into it. It had a bunch of games that I enjoyed.
Really? Like, what launched for the PS4 that you wanted? That you really enjoyed?
The new Call of Duty.
Really? The new Call of Duty?
Yeah, I really like that one actually. Where they
it was alright.
They blow shit up from space.
I didn't even finish it.
You know what? I'm just going to take a second.
Launched with I want to see
PS4 launch. Hold on a second. Not the PS4 launch lineup. Although I do like the concept of that. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Enjoyed that.
No, you did not enjoy that. You hated it every step of the way and didn't finish it.
No, not Black Flag. No, Black Flag I didn't finish, but I actually liked that one. I did. I spent so long looking for sea shanties.
You did not spend that long with it. I remember.
I spent ages with it. Call of Duty Ghosts was fun. What else is on here?
Nothing.
Hold on, we're going to find something here. I need to throw it.
Not all of these are launch games.
Dumb face. I know. What the hell is it? Hold on. I'm going to pop over to IGN. Here we go. IGN.
They're all shit.
Call of Duty Ghosts, Lego Marvel Superheroes.
We didn't even buy that.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
We bought it like way after it was out. Like we bought it when it was like on deep discount for $10.
I don't think we did.
Yes, we. Are you really arguing with me? You can go through. I'll go through your purchase history.
No, don't do that. You don't want to go there.
I will go through and I will
disgusting.
Find the date on it and I will prove
it. It is a disgusting amount of video games in my purchase history. I don't care. Do not do that.
I will go that far to prove
I call that a walk of shame through my purchase history. Yeah. I maintain though that the PlayStation 4 was still more appealing at launch.
What were you going to play online? Like just Call of Duty. It's not a good game. You barely played it. The PlayStation 4. We played almost nothing on the PlayStation 4 when it first came out until I think I don't even remember what the first big game that came out was that we played that we were super into.
Was it Bloodborne?
Could have been.
Might have been Bloodborne.
We didn't play much of it, and the interface was kind of mediocre.
The interface is exactly the same.
Yeah, but there wasn't as
much.
What are you talking about? Spotify didn't launch with it.
No, but Sony Music did. It didn't have a media player at the time.
Yeah, it didn't have the media player at the time. And PlayStation Music, I don't even remember if that launched with it, did it?
Yeah, it did. But it didn't go cross into other games. Like you couldn't use this custom soundtrack.
Yes.
It was...
So that basically doesn't count for me.
I would love to see like a... Hold on, let me see if I can find a list of PS4 games by date.
Why are we having this argument live?
Because I'm really curious.
Why can't we... You can do your research and come back next week when you can really be wrong.
I want to know now. You know what? It all sucks. Everything on the PlayStation 4 sucks. Except for Bloodborne. That game's sick.
There was nothing on the PlayStation 4 when it came out.
And every Yakuza game.
It was mediocre. Ishin launched with it in Japan, but not here.
Yeah.
There was no launch titles in North America that were that appealing. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't even remotely compare Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed Black Flag to...
Oh, no, God, no.
Legend of Zelda.
No, definitely not. But at the same time, I still would have...
Like, what are you going to play online? Like,
I
the online functionality's there.
I understand what you're saying, but...
PlayStation Plus launched with
the console
Flower.
was a more solidly built system.
It launched with Resogun.
Oh,
that was
Resogun
your first
was
month of PlayStation Plus.
First of all, Resogun was great, but second of all,
I'm sorry you had to listen to that, and how wrong Deacon was. Deacon, do you have anything to say to the class?
I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Things got a little heated. I may have been punched a couple of times.
You were the one who went on and on about settling things through fists.
I was doing it the Hamilton way. We're going to have a duel after this. You talked yourself right out of that.
I want to have a duel.
Let's do that.
No. I want to have a duel.
Okay. But we did need to go and cool our jets for a little bit there.
And by that, I mean Google things.
Googling was done.
There was some light Googling that went on in the background.
Yeah.
Remember when I was like, we shouldn't have this argument on the air? We shouldn't have arguments ever when we're recording. Ever.
We really shouldn't, but then we get super angry. We're already... I would like to point out we just hit the hour mark and I still haven't talked about Nier, so buckle up, boys and girls.
Let me just read you this beautiful passage from theregister.co.uk.
You think you would have this ready to go?
I had it all ready to go. Okay. Even this is from 2013.
Okay.
Prior to the launch of the PlayStation 4. Even the features that Sony has already announced for the PS4 won't necessarily be available when the console launches in November. Among the delayed capabilities are sharing via the internet, suspend/resume mode, and support for wireless stereo headsets.
Remember that time that the Onion started a...
Presumably, Sony plans to add these features with another big software update that you may or may not need internet access for in the future. So yeah, the share button wasn't in there, and if I remember correctly, you couldn't upload to YouTube, was it? First?
I believe the share button was there because it was caked into the controller.
The share button is there, but it wasn't like working properly or something. Like it wasn't... There was something about the way the share, like it wasn't... It didn't actually do anything.
I believe what that is saying was... if I recall, all it could do was share screenshots to Twitter.
Yes.
And
not even Facebook, if I remember.
Maybe Facebook, but not YouTube.
Yeah.
And it could only do 15-minute clips at like 720p.
Yes.
If I recall.
Yes.
And they had to be flat clips. You couldn't edit them or anything. Like, I think you could trim them, but that was it. You couldn't do anything crazy to them.
Yes, and yeah, it didn't have the YouTube at all, did it? At first? There was Facebook video.
I think it was Facebook, and...
But YouTube was...
I think YouTube came a little bit later.
Later. It was like a few months
after.
Yeah,
and there wasn't streaming. There wasn't...
Yeah, there was no streaming at all. Plus, although the camera was up pretty early.
Yeah, but the camera had the playroom. I guess
yeah,
maybe there was streaming.
But it wasn't... Maybe it wasn't to Twitch. Maybe it was only on the PlayStation.
No, I'm pretty sure it was...
No, I think it was...
I think it was Twitch and Ustream. And then they added YouTube and Dailymotion.
I don't know. I thought it was just a PlayStation at first.
I don't think so, because I think they've always streamed to Twitch. And then, what's it called? The live from PlayStation pulls from Twitch streams.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I do remember there was another the pausing and the resuming. That didn't launch with it. Yes. That was something they actually advertised.
That's something that I believe Mark Cerny said.
Yeah,
yes.
Talked about they had talked about it considerably at least.
Yeah, I think all that came in update Katana, maybe.
I can't remember. There was a big update that did a bunch, but that one came up quite a bit later if I remember.
So I will admit,
the biggest one is that resume.
I will admit I was wrong. Things were said.
Yes.
We'll never get that extra 45 minutes of the podcast back, but that's fine. Look, I maintain, and I'm still going to say this. I maintain that the PS4 was still more feature rich at the start of its launch than the Switch is. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yes. However, No, you know what? No, that ability to take the game, take the Switch out and portable it. Okay. How could you portable PS4 games? The Vita functionality wasn't there yet, was it?
It wasn't, and arguably it still sucks.
Yeah, exactly. That is a big feature. I mean, shouldn't that one feature trump a lot of the smaller features that the PS4 does?
It does. It definitely helps. But I don't think there was ever a time when the PlayStation 4 was launching where people were going, wow, is the PlayStation 4 really going to work? Is it going to take off and, succeed?
I think there was, actually, after the PS3's launch failure.
I don't think so. I think at launch...
Mark Cerny, though, really sold that console.
He really did. He worked his ass off to make sure that was ready to go.
No, there wasn't, but the Switch is launched now. We're reviewing consoles that we have, not the console.
We were talking about specifically at launch, which was the better console.
Right, and I'm still saying...
You still think Switch?
Yes, because the PS4 launched with no games that appealed to me.
Okay, that's fair.
I like Call of Duty. I play it, but that's like me saying I like Snipper Clips. And I've even played Snipper Clips, but I'll probably like it. And it'll probably be the same level of like as Call of Duty.
I think we should maybe go pick that up after we're done this podcast.
Yes.
So we can mellow out. And there's nothing that mellows us out more
than cooperative play.
Than co-op.
Yeah.
Co-op puzzle gameplay. I think that the fact that we're still alive after Portal 2's co-op, it should go a long way to say that...
I thought Portal 2 co-op wasn't too bad. I was really good at Portal. I liked that game.
I agree. When I wasn't playing with you, it was fantastic. It wasn't.
I'm going to make a new friend.
It wasn't bad.
I'm taking applications if anyone wants me my new BFF.
That's fine. You know what? Just leave me as a grumpy old man by myself.
Good. That's where you belong.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So speaking of grumpy old man,
I think we should... Oh, my arm still really hurts. Good. I'm not kidding. I was beaten. Send the authorities.
Don't send the authorities. He wasn't beaten. He's a wuss.
I'm not a wuss. You slap really good. Okay. So that was your gaming week. So, what did I play this week?
I covered everything.
Really? What else have you played?
Nothing. I made a me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I haven't really been playing anything else this week. I've been kind of watching you play the Switch, playing Zelda. Mm-hmm. I tried it out briefly. I only just, as of today, picked up Nier Automata on the PlayStation 4.
Yes.
This is the sequel to... I would say the modern cult classic.
Modern cult classic.
Of Nier, which was a pseudo-sequel to the Drakengard series on the PlayStation 2. Now, if anyone's played Nier, everyone knows it's got fantastic music and really bad combat, but maybe the best story ever created.
Really bad combat.
The combat was awful. Let's not say that it was great. It was awful. Except for the bullet hell. Now, Nier Automata.
What about the text adventure part?
That was absolutely awful. I'm really concerned that's going to come back for Nier Automata. Nier Automata. It is...
Sorry, can I just interrupt
by Square Enix.
Can I interrupt this?
Sure.
So PlayStation just tweeted, to be or not to be. Nier Automata is now available on PlayStation Store.
Perfect.
And then Yoko Taro retweeted it and said, thank you very much for PlayStation with a smiley face.
Excellent.
This sums up Nier's game designer.
So if anyone has seen Yoko Taro, he is the writer/director of the Nier and Drakengard series. He is the guy that you've probably seen at many press conferences wearing a weird skeleton head. He doesn't usually show his face to the press. He's a huge widow and writes really sad, thought-provoking stories. Beautiful stories. Yes, I would arguably say he tells the best stories in video games currently. They feel like the most mature stories that are still kind of weird. Like, there's mature stories like Gone Home, which I do think they're great. Yeah, like these beautiful adult kind of like... Yes, but then there's stories that Yoko Taro tells that are so weird and sad, and you're always jumping between who is the villain, like, and who is just... Oh, man, I don't even know where to begin on how much this game is... I've only played the game for about 4 hours, and already I am so enamored with Nier Automata. The combat system is by Platinum Games, so it's super, super slick. It is. I was telling you earlier, the last time Platinum Games made an open world action RPG was this little game called Okami.
Yes.
And it feels it has the big open sort of world of like Okami. Mm-hmm. Like I'm running through these dilapidated cities, like 10,000 years in mankind's future.
Yeah.
The combat system is so slick, and there's so many weapons and upgrades, and
there's so much like
it is you have the most minute control of your character. Like you get a list of parts that you can put in your Android character, and one of them is like the CPU. Like you could theoretically
your OS, I think it was.
Yeah, you could theoretically remove your own OS,
and then you just die,
and you will die instantly. You remove your OS to make more space for weapon upgrades, and you will die. That's the level of depth and control that you have over your character in Nier Automata.
So pointless.
It's fucking fantastic, but I don't want to go too much into spoilers. But
yeah,
and I'll keep this kind of brief. But if you don't check out Nier Automata, you are doing yourself a disservice because it is so amazing in everything that it tries to do. Like I will say that the beginning is a little slow. The beginning of the game is actually pretty good, and then it has this lull where you need to settle into the groove of the RPG part of it.
Yeah, that's like typical.
Now it starts off as a kind of a platinum action game.
Yeah,
and then it moves into an RPG where it gets really slow for a couple of hours. And then you go to like a desert environment and it just opens like wide up. The desert environment is huge. And you're like sliding down sand dunes and everything's so slick and like locked at 60 frames and it's so pretty.
Yeah.
I can't say enough good things about Automata so far. I hear it's got 5 endings, each of them more depressing than the last, which is perfect.
Yeah, that's typical.
That's exactly what I want. Yoko Taro never tells stories where everything works out for everybody. They've always got shades of grey to downright depressing.
Yes.
And they are the best, most thought-provoking endings ever.
We're already seeing the hooks in this one of how depressing these endings could get.
Oh yeah, like the boss that I just fought like I would say the second boss in the game in the desert area. So if anyone's played it, you know what I'm talking about. I was not prepared for the weird shit that happened after that boss was defeated. I don't know where the fuck the story is going to go now. It is. I think it's going to start dealing with like what does it mean to be alive, to have a soul.
Seems like what the theme is going to.
Yeah, like I don't understand what I'm looking at.
But even Nier did a lot of that kind of like
Nier. If you can get your hands on a copy of Nier,
it's very existential.
Yes, it is very sad. It is very melancholy.
Yes,
like no story in Nier has a happy ending, even when it seems like it has a happy ending. You're reminded that everyone you love is going to be dead one day, so none of this matters. It's like, oh yeah, I guess I helped that guy. Sucks he's going to be dead one day, though.
Yeah, well, that's basically real life, isn't it?
It is. It's great. But they remind you of that fact, and you can see the end coming.
Yes.
Like, you know the end is coming for everyone, and you just go towards it because Nier is a force of nature. Oh, man. Nier Automata, pick it up. So far as it completely met my expectations.
Yeah.
When they were
very high. Yeah.
I had very, very high expectations for Nier Automata. It is hands down Platinum's best game since Okami.
I've been watching you kind of play it a little bit and like gameplay style. It looks fun. I mean, it doesn't look like Nier in the sense of the gameplay. It has that bit of a Platinum combat thing going on, which is great.
Yeah.
It looks awesome, but I really, really appreciated the graphics. The stylistic choice for the kind of... It's almost gritty. It's got lots of browns and grays into it.
I disagree. I think
well,
it's lots of grays.
I guess there's more... It depends on the environment you're in.
Yeah.
But even still, it's earth tones overall. And it seems very stylized.
When you go up... Like, there's a part in that where you go to space, and everything in space, for some reason, is in black and white.
That is really cool.
I don't know why. It looks fucking amazing. It jumps between genres. Since I've started playing the game, I have been in a 3D action platformer, a 3D action hack and slash, a bullet hell shooter, a side-scrolling bullet hell shooter, a top-down isometric RPG, like Diablo.
Yeah.
Like, I am jumping between so many different
Nier
genres.
did this as well.
Yeah, but it all is so mechanically sound. It works so perfectly. I never feel like I'm lacking control or anything feels weird. It just feels like, okay, now I'm playing this game, but in this style.
Yeah.
And it does that constantly. It feels so good.
But anyway, I was commenting on the graphics because it's very much to its credit. They put smoke or fog or dust in the right situations where the world would be too wide to populate and still run smoothly at 60 frames a second. So they put this dust in. The PlayStation 4 can handle it beautifully. And then it ends up running very smoothly. There's none of the weird anti-alias thing going on. And this is the exact same comments I had for Zelda. There's no weird anti-aliasing. It's just beautiful, beautiful graphics because they've gone with a more stylized look.
I would say, like, given Platinum's recent games, I think their best thing recently has been that Transformers Devastation.
I've heard good things.
I've heard really good things. I hear it's very lacking in the story department, but the gameplay is really solid. And then, like, they had a bunch of other turds surrounding that. Like, but that was, like, their kind of crowning jewel because they were all busy working. Like, they did that shit for EA, and then they were working on Scalebound for Microsoft.
Yeah, which got cancelled.
Yeah, and then Yoko Taro and his team were working on Nier for Square Enix.
Yeah.
I would say that if I was going to rank Platinum-made games, like, out of the good ones that I've actually played, like I said, most of them are crappy, I would say this one is, for me, easily at the top, followed by Metal Gear Rising, followed by Bayonetta.
Right.
Like, that's the order of, holy shit, this is the most platinum game.
Yeah.
Like, this is... If Platinum could make all of their games like this, I would just buy nothing but Platinum games.
But when Platinum gets a good quality game franchise, like the Nier or Metal Gear Solid, like, they really do them justice. I
don't think it's got anything to do with the franchise. I think it has everything to do with the budget.
That too.
I think that when you have a budget and a director with a creative vision, that which is both of the things that both Okami, Bayonetta, and Metal Gear Rising had, they had a very clear line of what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Platinum are, like, the best in the business next to maybe From.
But even something like Metal Gear Rising wasn't written by Kojima.
He was an executive producer, though.
But still, I mean, Platinum had a lot of creative control in that, and he was just happy with what they did. I think that they do a good job when they're allowed to do a good job.
Yes, I will agree with that.
And when they're given the budget, obviously, to do that. That does play a role.
For sure. But please check out Nier Automata. I know we're currently in the middle of the Japocalypse of games. There are so many Japanese video games out right now that are all so good. If all you're checking out is Yakuza, Zelda, and Nier Automata, that's all you need to tide you over until Persona 5 and Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah.
Yooka-Laylee will break the Japocalypse.
Yes.
That is the first sign of hope that we have to crawl out of this Japanese... I don't even know what
it's like we're kids again.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
Yeah, every good game is coming from Japan and I don't know what to expect and they're all fucking amazing.
Yes. Okay, we really gotta wrap this up. But if you hated this podcast and you would rather listen to, what was it, 4 or 5 idiots talk about, Yakuza instead of Nier and Zelda, then you can check out our spoiler cast, which goes live when?
You know what? I'm going to put it up.
It's going to go live.
I'm going to put it up on Wednesday this week, so on the 8th. So by the time...
Why would you... We were not supposed to tell them!
Which, again, I'm putting that up. I'm just saying because...
It's up for backers already.
I was going to say, yes, it's up for backers already. I'm trying to phrase it in a way because this is going to go out for backers first.
Yes.
And then this is going to be live for everyone else on Friday.
So it'll be live by the time you listen to this podcast.
Yes.
No matter who you are, you'll be able to find the spoiler cast. Yeah. And that's basically...
Spoiler cast is already live for backers.
Yeah.
It's going to go live today for...
Yes, but when everyone else hears that they're not backers, so it doesn't...
I know.
Why are you still talking? So, if you want to, basically, major spoilers, we're going to be talking about Yakuza 0. You can hear a few different perspectives, maybe get some ideas of some little theories that you might have missed.
I really want some good discussion on this in the comments.
Yeah, so, leave your comments.
Yeah, when I put the Yakuza 0 spoiler cast live, if you've listened to that, I really want to go back to that and give me your theories on the stuff that we talk about, because there are things that I brought up.
Take the questions that we ask and you answer them.
Yes, I really want to know what you guys thought of Yakuza 0. So head over to the Yakuza 0 spoiler cast. It's on the YouTube channel. I'll put on iTunes, but leave the comments on the YouTube channel because I really want to know what you guys think. So yeah, I think that wraps it up for tonight.
Yeah, so make sure you like and subscribe for more Nier and Zelda talk, which is basically our lives until, as Deacon said, Yooka-Laylee and Persona 5.
I don't know which order that comes out in,
I don't know.
Yep.
But either way.
Okay, so what else do we have going on? We have...
Let's not worry about that this time.
Not this time? No. Okay. Well, I want to announce...
Okay.
That once a month, near the end of every month, I'm going to be doing a Yakuza fan podcast with people that back us on Patreon on the Discord. So if you're a backer on Patreon and you want to discuss Yakuza and maybe just shoot the shit for a little bit, we're going to be recording over in the Discord. I haven't really come up with a date yet. I'm just letting you guys know that that is something that I'm aiming for, again, closer to the end of the month.
There might be some loose topics, like there's been some talk of maybe some Kenzin spoilers, or like similar to the spoiler cast, or some Ishin discussion, those kinds of things, but
this is where we're
game specific.
Yes, we're really going to be nerding out on Yakuza and everything else that we're doing. Like we have a bunch of people there that have a lot of varying opinions of things. So
it's actually really interesting to have those conversations and to kind of get some new perspectives.
So again, that if you want to participate, that's for backers only, but it will be released for everyone.
You'll be able to hear it. But do consider backing us on Patreon if you like what we're doing. We do have the Patreon only section in the Discord, which we like to talk to our backers directly. You can come chat with us. We also have monthly backer videos, which should be going live here very shortly.
Yes, if you're a backer, head over to Patreon and leave a question for us to answer in our Patreon backer Q&A, which will be coming out as soon as possible because we forgot that February was a short month, and here we are. Anyway,
February ended surprise.
Yes, that was a very big shock to me. I think the last day, on the 28th, I was like, wow, I should really get those shirt designs done. It's going to be like the end of the month really soon. And you're like, Deacon, it's the 28th. Okay. February only has 28 days this year. Oh, shit!
Well, otherwise, it would only have 29.
Even then. I thought it had 30 for some reason. That doesn't matter. Buy a shirt. They're fantastic. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm glad you made it through Fightcast 2017. I will admit, Cal, I was wrong.
You're always wrong.
Not always, but sometimes.
Usually.
Please buy Nier Automata. I will.
You're not wrong about that.
I shill for Nier.
You're not wrong about that.
I shill for Nier, Yakuza, and Dark Souls. Those are my 3 big games.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you Persona 5 and Yooka-Laylee will be added to that list. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Goodbye.